Right, now your cakes are out of the oven, we need to let them cool first. So whilst they're cooling, we can be making our buttercream for the middle, okay? So I've got 140 grams, 140 grams of icing sugar, and 100 grams, 100 grams of butter, okay? And then I've also got strawberry jam. So it depends on how jammy you like your sponge in the middle, so it's up to you how much jam you like. Just make sure you leave enough for everyone's jam sandwiches and jam on toast in the morning. So I'm going to put my icing sugar in my bowl. I'm hoping my little bowl is big enough. And then I can do all the washing up at the end, like I'm sure you're all going to. So I'm going to put the butter in slowly, because otherwise I know what happens with the icing sugar, it's just going to go poof. So I just want to cream it gently against the side of the bowl, okay? It will take a little time without it going everywhere. But also, whilst we're doing this, we could be adding in our vanilla essence, okay? So you just want a tiny, tiny amount, but using what you've got. So you might have the measuring spoons at home, so you can use a tiny spoon for that. Or you might have a medicine spoon, so you could use that. Or just a teaspoon, okay? It really doesn't matter. You can use whatever you've got. So I'm just going to pour, because this is quite strong, my vanilla essence, so I'm just going to pour a teeny bit on the spoon. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Just going to pour it in, but if you want it a bit more vanilla-y, then you can just pour more in, okay? Put that in the bowl so we don't make the table too dirty. Then we just want to and I've done what I normally do on a Friday for enrichment. I've worn black. So normally I always get icing sugar and flour on me. Yep, it's begun. Right, there we go. Oh, there's my timer for my next baking going off. Amazon, stop timer. So again, if you want your your buttercream to be thicker, then you can add a little bit more icing sugar, okay? Or if you like it a bit runnier, then it's up to you, okay? So I'm going to put a bit more icing sugar in that, okay? So I'm waiting for the cakes to cool. Once they are fully cooled, then we can put all the cake and decorating together. See you in a minute. Right, so now we've got our 2 cakes, which are now cooled and ready to put together as a sandwich. So I'm going to start. If you feel that your cakes are they've risen too much and they're not flat enough, then you can cut a little bit off. But for easiness, I'm just going to leave mine as they are, because I think they are flat enough really. Okay, so I'm going to turn that one over just to cool that little bit longer whilst we are talking. On this one, it's up to you which way round you want to do it. I'm going to put the jam on here, okay? So like I said, however much jam you guys like. Some of you might not like jam. You might use lemon curd, or you might just want to decorate it and put chocolate in it. You could always have a chocolate Victoria sponge. So you would just put cocoa powder with your icing sugar and butter. Spread that all around. Right, there we go. There's my jam done on one layer. So I'm going to put that there. Then on this side, I'm going to use the bottom part. Okay, so where it's not gone crispy on top, the bottom part of the cake. And that's where I'm going to put my buttercream. I've put my buttercream in the fridge just so it stiffens up a little bit and goes a little bit harder. So for this you can use a normal knife like you did for your jam, a spoon, a palette knife if you've got one, which is just a rounded flat knife, or maybe you prefer your, I've forgotten what they're called, but you can comment below and tell me. So I'm going to use a spoon just to get that rounded edge off. I find it easier. And if you've got loads of buttercream, you can always put it on top and decorate the cake if you don't fancy just icing sugar on top. So sometimes you have to be a little bit careful because your sponge will start to crack when you drag something over the top. So just put loads on and gently guide it around so we don't have too much broken cake. I mean, it is fun to eat broken cake. And the more you put on, the more it's going to squeeze out the side when you put it on top of the other cake. So it's up to you what you and your family like. Okay, but I think that's enough for me. That's quite a lot actually. So, I've got my cake here. I'm going to put this one on top and give it a little squeeze so it goes to the edges. Give it a little squash. Squash and a squeeze. There we go. So, I have made a Victoria sponge. So normally, like I said, I've got loads of buttercream left, so I could put it on top and then decorate it however I liked, or you can just sprinkle some icing sugar. Normally I'd have a sieve. My sieve broke, so I'm going to use a grater which does the same job. So I put it on there and then just sprinkle it around. It's literally about using what you've got in your house. Okay, don't worry if you don't have the right things because you can improvise. It's all about improvising in this time, and that gets your imagination going. I think I've put quite enough on there. Right, and there you go. Baking with Miss Sheppard, and I have made a Victoria sponge. Don't worry if you're, oh look, mine's sliding already guys. So don't worry if yours doesn't look like that. Everyone's is going to look a little bit different. So well done, thumbs up for everyone having a go. And it's so lovely to have you watching my video. I hope to see you all soon. Take care, stay safe, and look after each other. Keep smiling. Bye guys.